Hello, Stamper fans. Welcome to another Make It Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. Whether you're catching me live on Facebook or if you're watching the replay on YouTube, I am so thankful that you're here. We are super casual today. If you are joining me live, you know that we're a half an hour late because the grandboys came over with their parents and we spent the afternoon in the pool. So this is what we have today. Because I wasn't doing full hair again for this. So I am Nan Gurlitz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bloomington, Illinois, and I am here to help you connect with your people, whether that's gathering together to craft or you making handmade items to share with them. It's all about making and deepening those connections. So let's get to it. There we go. Okay, first up, as always, is Friday night Stampin' results. For those of you that might be new here, my husband and I actually come down to the craft studio every Friday night-ish, and we each make a card, and then you all get to vote over the weekend on which one you like better, and I announce the winner on Monday. Hello, Penny. And this week, it was this card that was the winner, and this was my card. Back to back. We got a repeat win for me. I must say, I feel a little like cheating, as I said in my Facebook post, that the paper and the stencils kind of did all the work for me, so it was pretty easy to make a beautiful card. So this particular week, my husband is now working retail hours, and so he's not always home on Friday nights. So normally, for the past couple of weeks, we have set aside a different night of the week to do our Friday night stamping, pre-stamp, and then I post them on Friday nights. And this week we realized we forgot to do that on the one night we had together. And so he actually got up Friday morning and stamped his card and then left it in this envelope on my desk and told me no peeking until after I had made mine. So I did not. I was very good. I made mine and then I opened his up and I loved it as much. Just gorgeous, subtle, love it. So and he even tied a bow without me here. So praise for the rest there. That was awesome. Okay, so thank you all for voting. As always, it is usually my most popular post of the week. So I know y'all love it. And we love it too. So a couple of things I want to talk about before we get to Stampin' tonight. And I do have a fun thing for you. Yes. Russ is so subversive. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was pretty. I didn't want to remind him because he's got a lot on his plate. And then he texted me while I was at work and told me that his card was down here and no peeking. So I thought that was awesome. So the first thing I want to remind you all of is the virtual album retreat, which is coming up in July 16th through the 18th is the virtual event. Will be in a closed Facebook group, and when you purchase the virtual album kit, you will get an automatic invite into that Facebook group, and you can either join them live or you can watch the replays if the timing doesn't work out for you. But what you will be making is a 24-page album. So included in the kit that you purchase is 24 pages, all like die cuts, page titles, all sorts of things are all included. You will learn lots of cool little techniques and tips and tricks and things like that during the virtual event. And I want to, let me see if I can do this. I think I've got everything ready to go here. So in the comments, I'm going to post the video for the album event, which will show you kind of what's included, like what you're going to make in the kit. And they're going to talk a little bit about some of the techniques you're going to learn and things like that. So that is an awesome video for that. I watched it in full yesterday, so I could get a good idea of exactly what was going on there. And then if you want to purchase the kit, I also have a link for that. So I'll pop that in the comments as well. And those of you watching the replay on YouTube, I will post these links in the video description so you don't even have to search comments for them. So there's an advantage to be a replayer instead of a live, right? So I don't want to sell you guys short. So that is the info on the virtual album retreat. If you are a seasoned scrapbooker, this is a fun, great virtual event. You could get together with friends and do it together in one space while you're watching the virtual event. Or you could do it by yourself and watch the virtual event and kind of join that virtual community. So it's a good way to kind of get that under your belt. If you are a new scrapbooker or somebody that wants to scrapbook, this is a fabulous way. It's I think it works out to be about $10 per page spread. So about $10 per month you're spending, and you'll have an entire year's album to highlight this year, next year, a previous year, whenever you want. But it'll be all kind of done for you. And it's just like the rest of our kits. Everything is great and coordinated and really thought out. And so it makes it so easy for you to jump in and complete something. And that's really the point. The other thing I wanted to talk about is our BOGO sale on sweets and sweet products. And this ends today, June 30th, 2025. So if you are watching live or if you're catching the replay tonight, you have until, I believe, 11:50 p.m. Mountain Time in the US to get this done. So what we've got here is all sweets or sweet products are buy one, get one half off. And I've got a link for you on that as well. So if you want to check out all the sweets and sweet products that are available, you can check those out at the link in the comments. And that will tell you kind of what's going on. I'm probably going to be perusing a few things after I get off this live. So, you got to take advantage of that last chance thing, right? Okay, now all the housekeeping's out of the way. Let's get to the main event. And you may remember last week, I believe it was. Gosh, was that just last week, Penny? I showed you some projects that we did. Excuse me. During a virtual event that just demonstrators attended. And this was one of them. And it had this really cute little pull-out tag that I absolutely loved. This is done with products from a new suite that's coming out in the September through December mini catalog. So they're not available for customers yet. So what I did was I recreated this in current product so that you can learn how to make it as well. Yes, it was a million years ago last Saturday. I agree. So I pulled out my Thankful Garden stamp set, mostly for sentiments. I pulled out my Something Fancy dies for this particular tag die because, again, I have the new one, but it's not available yet. So I wanted to show you something that you could get now. The Something Fancy dies are on the last chance list. They are still available. I just checked before my live. And I believe they are on sale, like they're discounted. So if you like these, and they are pretty fabulous, that might be something to add to your order. Okay. So mostly this particular card is great for using up paper scraps. It is also great if you don't have a lot of supplies. So this literally uses one ink pad. It uses the Fresh Freesia and basic white cardstock, and otherwise just the pack of Lovely Garden paper. So if you have designer paper and you have coordinating cardstock and you've got one coordinating ink, boom, you're like so there. You just need something to make a tag out of. You could totally do that on your trimmer. You could do it with a punch. You could do it with dies. So depending on what supplies you have, you totally can do this. Okay, I am going to share measurements tonight, but they will also be written in this week's newsletter, and the supply list, as always, is linked in the video description. But I really want you to be able to make this right away, no matter what. So we've got a piece of the designer paper that is 3" by 3" square. Wait, I have to read this. Oh my gosh, Penny. Okay, raise your hand if you've done this before. I have so done this where I have assembled my card front and it opens backwards or upside down, or yeah, we've all done this. You are not a paper crafter unless you've done this. So, yeah, we've all done it. And what I always say is just cut the front of the card off, and mount it on another card base. It's fine. It's completely salvageable. Okay, so we've got a 3x3 inch square of the designer paper. Then we have a little piece of basic white that is 3 inches by 1 1/4 inch. That'll go right below it. Then we have 2 more pieces of that designer paper from that pack. And this particular one is the same piece because I just used the flip side over here. So, but each of them, let me see. I have, unfortunately, ripped the corner of my paper. So, oh, here we go. All right, this is 3/4 inch by 2.5. And this one is 3/4 inch by 1 3/4. So basically, you've got, just your measurements, so it's going to make a big rectangle. Okay, everything's going to line up. And then I have another piece, and basically this is just going to fit. It can't be more than, I think, like 2 inches wide. Let me see. Oh, yes, I have all my measurements right here in my little cheat notes. The tag needs to be no longer than 3 1/4 inch and no wider than 2 inches. Okay. And that's just because you're going to make a little kind of tunnel for it to slide into. And so that needs to be there. Then I've just got another little strip to add to my inside piece. Okay. So let's get started. What are we doing first? Because I did put this in order. All right, we're going to cut our tag first. And I will say that on our little virtual event, they had us cut our tag, and then they had us attach our designer paper and fussy cut around it, which I thought was very silly. So I'm going to tell you an easier way to do it. You're going to attach your little strip of designer paper to the end of your little rectangle before you die cut. Right? That just makes sense. And I'm going to take that larger die, and I'm going to line it up so that designer paper kind of hits that little indentation, okay? Because I just want the little tab to be the designer paper. Let's tack that down so it doesn't move. And I'm using my mini tonight, you guys. My mini is terribly neglected because I just really love my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the Big Boss. It is just so much smoother. This one, I think, has a little bit of a learning curve, and so I just don't use it as much. But it is absolutely perfect. I did take it mobile crafting last week. Our library had, my library, I should say, because I work there, but we have a monthly crafternoon program that they started where you just bring whatever you're working on. And so I brought what I was working on, and part of that needed to be die cut. So I brought my little one with, which is perfect. Okay. That's all we're doing with the dies, but how awesome is that? Like, that was so much easier than trying to fussy cut around, although this one would have been easy to fussy cut, but why bother? That's why you have a die cut machine. So, okay. So we've cut the tag, and now let's lay out everything so we kind of know where we want everything to go. We know how high up we want stuff and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to dry fit this, I think is the term. Okay. Oh, I need to do a little stamping. Huh. So let's do our little sentiments. So this, obviously, you could use any stamp set for. If you have a nice sentiment stamp set, which are always so wonderful to have, just full of sentiments, you could do this with that. My blocks just got a nice bath today because the two older boys were down here stamping with me, and they were very enthusiastic with the ink today. It's been a while since they've stamped, and so I think they just forgot how to be gentle. So yeah, there was ink all over them. There's ink mine's looking pretty good, but all over them, all over me. all over papers and countertops and shirts and blocks. So yeah, I could only do so much cleaning with my chamois and whatnot. And I'm just like, nope, we're just going to take them all upstairs and dunk them in the sink. I just use a little dishwashing liquid and a nice smooth sponge. And about 5 minutes later, all my blocks were so clean. We're all washable, exactly. Well, and I'm very thankful that neither my daughter nor her husband get like freaked out because they got stuff on their clothes or anything. I mean, first of all, they're boys, so that's going to happen. Heck, even as a girl, I was such a tomboy that I was always, skinned knees and dirty and all that stuff. So kids are kids. But also it's water-based ink, so it's going to come out of everything eventually. All right. We've got our sentiments stamped. It does feel good to have clean blocks though, because after a while they just get gunked up with adhesive and your finger oils and all sorts of things like that, right? So it's good to give them a bath once in a while. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. I am going to start out with this bottom piece, adhering it, because this main square is going to go up on dimensionals. So I really just am going to do that last. So I will do all these other pieces first. And I'm not going to be too crazy. So if it's 1/8 of an inch off of where I originally put it, it's fine. Nobody's going to notice. Probably not even you, although sometimes I know we do. So then we'll just line that guy up with the bottom of that white piece. I was pretty excited when I found that particular pattern I was just going to use front and back. Okay, put our liquid glue away, and now we are going to do our dimensionals. But like I said, we want to build a little, like a shelf and a backstop for this tag, because otherwise what happens, because we didn't do that here, is it kind of falls all over and it can go too far through or this way or crooked. And I want it to be straight and I want it to stop instead of going all the way through, right? Especially since, you're probably going to throw it in an envelope and you want it to arrive how you made it. So we are going to grab our dimensionals. And I'm especially going to use my edges. This is the perfect thing. So I'm going to put this kind of in place here. And I'm going to turn it over. So now this is the bottom. And we're going to make a little cut. And we want this to be about that long. Whoops. I'm going to take the straight side towards the tag. So it's got a good edge to just ride right along. Okay. And then we want, I can just use this little edge piece. We need a backstop. We're going to put that there. And then we can do another little edge piece at the top. So it really only has one place to go in and out, and it's going to stop when it needs to stop. And there we go. We have our little kind of tunnel. So if you've ever made a shaker card, it's similar to that, but a lot less fussy because you don't have to worry about filling it and putting the window sheet on and all that. So now we'll just take all those backings off. And we will put that in place. And then our little tag. Like I can't put it up here, I can't put it back here. I can really just put it right there and it stops right where I want it to. So perfect. Now they had us put a little bling on the edge of that tag, so I'm going to do that as well. And I grabbed my little neutral sequins. And we'll just put that there. You can also, if you want, write pull on there if you want. So if you want to make sure your recipient knows to pull that out to see the extra little with love, right? And now, oops, I have no inside pieces, so I'll have to finish that later. I'm not sure what happened there. We must have used them all. So yes, on my inside piece, I would have just put this one at the top of a little piece of white, and then we're good to go. I did want to show you one other thing that I found out yesterday, and that is our Stampin' Blends. Look what happens when you use them on our regular cardstock. So some of these look good, but that blue, that midnight misty moonlight, really bled outside the lines. So perhaps it's juicier than the other one, but definitely had some issues there. So I did switch to our basic white, which is a coated cardstock, so it accepts ink really well. Excuse me. And that turned out to be, I can't show you the finished card because today was our son-in-law's birthday, and so we sent that home with him. Ended up being his birthday card. So, yeah, so if you are not getting the correct kind of feel from your Stampin' Blends, it might be your cardstock, so you might need to switch to a different color, or you might need to switch your blends if they're too juicy, and maybe wait until you've used those a little bit more and they're not quite so juicy. Clearly, I need to use my Misty Moonlight more, I guess. So, yes, so that is all I have for you tonight. That was a quick one, I think. Again, the supply list is in the video description. I've told you all of the measurements for the individual little pieces on this one, but the written measurements will be in this week's email newsletter. So if you have not signed up for that yet, make sure that you click the link in the description to sign up for my newsletters. Next week, we're back to Simple Stampin', and I have got a fun one for you. Just discovered a great layout yesterday, so don't miss that. It's super simple, like super low supplies, super high impact, okay? All right, so that's all I have for you tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. This is your regular reminder that if you picked up some inspiration or some tips, go ahead and either tag your bestie in the comments or share the video with them so that they can learn a thing or two as well. Until next week, I'm still Nan Gerlitz. Happy stamping.